Welcome back to this episode of K&T's Corner 3. I'm Kushal.
I'm Tim.
And welcome to the video. For this episode, we are talking about most improved player. Because Tim, can you believe it or not, we're almost a quarter of the way through the season. It's a 72-game schedule. This season is shorter than other seasons, so it is flying by. And usually, around this time of the season, it's when the hype season starts for MVPs, Rookie of the Years, and of course, most improved player. And I think this most improved player race this year is a three-headed race so far. And I think it's three very interesting candidates with two that you probably already know, two that are already being talked about by a lot of sources and companies and NBA talking heads, and one player that we're going to talk about today that's under the radar. Nobody's talking about him, and he's being slept on, but he definitely deserves all of the attention and accolades because he is having a great start to the season. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's just take a look at some of the key standouts, maybe some of the younger players, and just who's influencing their team in a positive direction. And we're going to talk about two people in the beginning that you probably have heard of. And then the third dude is going to be someone you probably didn't expect to see on this list. So if you're interested, leave a like, subscribe, and let's get into it, Kush.
Yeah, absolutely. So the most improved award is always one of the more interesting awards because usually it's someone who's coming off an injury, maybe changed teams, and it's finally getting a chance. And I think the most obvious candidate so far, and one that everyone's talking about, is Christian Wood, Tim.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree, especially with the departure of Harden now. I know they're getting Oladipo, so it's not like he's free of ball usage because Oladipo is pretty ball dominant, but he definitely has a lot more room to expand. Harden's high usage rate is out, obviously, so there's a lot more potential for him. But even when Harden was on the team, this dude was averaging 23, 22 points a game, a lot of rebounds, 8, 9-ish rebounds a game too. He filled in a lot of the gaps that the Rockets needed. And I think he's definitely in the running, especially considering his last season at 13 points a game, pretty much not doubling it, but a huge increase. And I can only see it going up with the departure of Harden.
Yeah, man. I mean, Christian Wood has come out of nowhere, right? And if you look at his stats, he's played 20 games a season. In 2015 he played 17 games. In 2018 he only played 21 games. Last year with Detroit was his first chance, playing 62 games, but he only played 20 minutes per game. So this is his first year with a full opportunity. Harden's gone, so he has all the usage, and he is really making the best out of it.
Yeah, agreed. And I think he's not even on a trash team too. He's got Wall, he's got Boogie, Oladipo too. They could make some they could make some moves in the postseason if they get there. So I expect them to make the playoffs still.
Yeah, and if Christian Wood keeps this up, and their team is close to playoff contention, he's definitely a favorite for most improved.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Christian Wood is the obvious answer, the one that everyone's talking about. I think another person who's on a lot of people's radars for most improved is Malcolm Brogdon of the Pacers. I mean, him alongside Domantas Sabonis, they're having a great year. Brogdon's up to close to 23 points per game, over 7 assists. He plays great defense. He's shooting 48% from the field. You got to think that Malcolm Brogdon is also in contention for most improved.
Definitely, I agree. His points and his assists and all that stuff haven't skyrocketed as much as Christian Wood or the other guy we're going to talk about, but to be able to transition from team to team and still do this well and just adapt shows that he is a willing player. He's a giving player, and I think that's underrated and pretty necessary in this day and age in the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely. While Wood and Brogdon are two very well-deserving candidates so far in terms of most improved, they've both been incredible. This next guy we have, Tim, this is his 8th year in the NBA, and he has literally had the start of his life to this season. He has almost doubled his points from last year. He's been the number one option for his team, and safe to say, nobody expected what he's doing.
Yep. We are introducing Mr. Jerami Grant here, coming in at 24.8 points per game. Yeah, this dude, I'll be honest, I have not been watching Pistons games. I watched a few highlights before this video, but this dude is good. He is long, he's lengthy, he's not even bad on defense. He can pop threes. He drives. He's a great slasher. I'm sure Kush is going to talk about that more, but he's a little bit of everything. And I think underrated wise, something people don't understand or don't see right off the bat would be his defensive prowess. He's got that Ingram Durant like body where it's just super long and just like bothers shots and stuff. I think that's really cool. That helps his case a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Safe to say nobody expected what Grant's doing this year. Last year on the Nuggets, he was a very impactful player, but he only averaged 12 points per game. But he was obviously playing with Jamal Murray, with Nikola Jokic. His usage wasn't quite as high. So in the offseason, he signed with Detroit. But even though Detroit, they're not a juggernaut, they still have Blake Griffin. They still have Derrick Rose. I did not expect that Jeremy Grant would be their leading scorer 12 games into the season. He's averaging 25 a game on 46% from the field. He's more than doubled his points from last year, nearly doubling it from his previous career high. And he's still keeping his good defensive prowess. I know in 2016 with OKC, he was top 5 in defensive rating, and that was really the reason that he was so valuable. But coming into the league with the Sixers, Jeremy Grant's offense was the reason he wasn't seeing as many minutes as he should have. He was a good defender who literally was a liability almost on offense. And it's crazy to see how someone's career and production shifts by changing teams, finding the right situation. And I think Jeremy Grant has done that with Detroit.
Right. And something like you mentioned, he was on the Nuggets last year. Like, can you imagine if he was this good with Murray, Jokic? Like, he wasn't bad on the Nuggets, but if he was this good, that would have been scary. Like, they already took out the Clippers. If he was this good, they would have had a real shot against the Lakers, even though the Lakers still have LeBron and AD. Last postseason would have been very interesting if this dude was averaging closer to 20, 22 points a game instead of his 12 or 13. I know it's going to be tougher. You have Murray ball handling. You got Jokic. He needs his points. And even other dudes. What's this guy's name? Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, you got other developing players. But holding on to him would have been nice. But yeah, he's on the Pistons now. He can fully develop with a much more usage rate and more ball time. So it's great. It's great to see this dude improving, like you said, from the Sixers in the beginning, averaging below 7 points a game for a couple seasons. Now he's skyrocketing. His trade value is going to go up. I think he's on a 3-year deal for $60 million. And I think in a few months, if he keeps playing like this, that could be considered well underpaid. So it's really good for him.
Oh, absolutely. And he's kind of taken over the number one option on the Pistons from Blake Griffin. And granted, Griffin's missed some games. But even when Griffin's played, Jeremy Grant has been the best player on the floor. And I know their record isn't, they're 3-8, I believe. And I know they're not a juggernaut, but that they wouldn't even be 3-8 if they didn't have Jeremy Grant. If you look at the guys they've been playing, there's not a lot of help on that team. So they've needed Jeremy Grant to be awesome, and he really has. And I think if this guy keeps it up, he needs to start getting the recognition that he deserves. I don't really see too many people talking about him. Only some diehard fans, but he needs to get into the mainstream limelight because he's having an incredible season offensively. He's still a good defender, not at the level that he was in 2017 or 16 rather, when he was in that top 5. But he still is a decent defensive rating, and I think if he keeps this up, he needs to be the favorite for most improved player this year.
Right. I think he's certainly slept on. I don't have a whole lot else to add, but I definitely agree with all that, man.
Yeah. I just want to close it out by saying that if you haven't watched many Pistons games, definitely, tune in just to see him play. And I think it goes to show you that there are a lot of really good players in the league, and a lot of production is kind of hinged on what situation and what team each player is on. Yeah. By changing teams, it really can change your entire career. And I think that's what's happened with Grant. And I know in future videos, there's definitely some ideas we have on guys we want to talk about with that.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's about it for me. If you got Jeremy Grant in fantasy basketball to start the year, you are probably winning because he is a steal. Luckily, I was one of those guys. And Jeremy Grant, please keep it up.
Yes, sir. So if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.
All notifications.
We'll be posting more NBA content in the weeks to come. So we'll see you then. Peace out.
Peace out.